All units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.
Hey, what's up, guys? Want to talk to you about Tasty Gains. They're a sponsor of Counterculture, Counterculture Inc. We love them, been using them, and I enjoy it. It's a little gummy. It's got like 1 gram of creatine in there, so you take 3 a day, knock it out. It's making a difference, and it gives me a little bit of sweetness too during the day. I can keep them right in my backpack in my car at work, and they don't melt. You can see this is the mango pineapple. It's my favorite flavor. But check it out. Use code Counterculture to get 20% off on Tasty Gains. So check out Tasty Gains. They're great. So get your swole on. What's up, everybody? Good morning. Welcome back to Coffee and Donuts. Sorry again. No donuts today, but coffee, of course. Second cup. Just wrapped up breakfast and it's good old time change. I'm still kind of at a loss on whether I enjoy the time change or not. The news yesterday, I'm going to take a sip first. Trying to rush it. Somebody else talk for me, please, while I take a sip. The news actually broke down like what it would be like in, say, December when December or January, if the time change didn't happen. So it was something like it was a little crazy. So it was like, okay, that's really probably the first time that I've seen it presented to tell me, or like to let me know, like, hey, this is probably something that's needed. There we go. I wanted to at least bring in the background a little bit. So, but which variation do I like? I mean, I kind of prefer the summertime atmosphere. I think I don't like it to get so dark so early, because I think coming into work this week, I'm gonna, like, when I get off work at 5, it's gonna be, the sun's gonna start setting at 5:30. So it's I'm gonna lose any bit of sunlight. When I take the dogs out or whatever, it's gonna already starting to be getting dark. So, but I pretend like this doesn't happen every year, and it's the first time I've seen it. Which it's not. So yeah. So what is going on? I got a freaking kinesio tape. Let me try and get this in the light. Kinesio tape on my elbow because I did a blood draw for just some labs or whatever this week, and they freaking, like, I feel like they just stabbed the inside. They just stabbed my elbow arm area, and drew blood out. They didn't actually look for a vein or anything like that. I don't know. And so I had a huge lump, and then it spread into a giant bruise. So my wife is certified with kinesio tape. She doesn't just slap tape on your body. She did the appropriate measures to help decrease the bruise faster than it would normally decrease, and I wouldn't look like a druggie or something like that. So speaking about druggies, I did a recording yesterday that's going to come out next week with a guy named Matthew Handy. He owns a addiction recovery center in Houston, Texas. But he is a recovering drug user. He's a recovering criminal. It was an enlightening story. He's a cool dude, and we talked for a long time. It's a 2-hour podcast, so he has a very crazy story to tell about his life. You know, with drug use and crime and homelessness. He went to jail for being a bank robber. So crazy stuff. He's a cool dude, and I definitely look forward to keeping in contact with him. He's going to be doing some big things for addiction recovery that can also benefit law enforcement, because we can't deny that there's law enforcement officers or first responders, veterans, of course, that deal with addiction. And he has a pretty cool him and the doctor that he works with at the center, they have a very interesting approach to how they deal with it. It's not necessarily the 12-step program or that kind of stuff. So it's pretty cool. So that's a cool episode to check out. Coming out next week on Tuesday, and then this week Tuesday, I have a guy named Juan. I'm gonna butcher his last name again. Briello, JC. He has a account on Instagram called 3 a.m. Fog. He explains in the podcast what 3 a.m. Fog is, and talks about. We'll stay on the topic of addiction and first responders. And so he was an alcoholic, or is an alcoholic, but in recovery. He's sober, and then he also dabbled in pills for about a year, all while an active police officer, a sergeant, a canine handler, all that. So he's also a really cool guy. He's retired now and works as a peer support for Miami-Dade Sheriff's Office. And then he's there to help anybody. And as somebody who lived through it and has dealt with it, he's carrying that flame and helping officers in that agency, and then whoever comes to him to talk about it. So he's cool. So two very similar themes in a row this week and next week, but it just kind of works out that way. It's whoever comes into the donut shop. So that's I enjoyed both conversations, and they're both people that I will keep in the Rolodex, of course, to have future conversations with and that kind of stuff. So pretty cool. So what's up, anybody else? I see there's a few of you in here watching today. Good morning. And I'm gonna take another sip of coffee, but not rush through it. I threw a little commercial up front at the beginning because it usually takes a couple seconds for people to get on and watch, like when they see the announcement. If they subscribe to the YouTube channel and they hit the bell notification, it takes a few seconds to realize it and jump in the live. So I was like, I'm gonna throw a commercial up there, and then you won't miss anything of my interesting conversation. So in other big news, I turned in my retirement memo on Monday. So that memo basically gives the city notification and stuff to let them know that, hey, it's time to it's time for me to go, and time for you guys to crank up all the paperwork and get my separation started. I didn't want to give them 2 weeks notice sort of thing and be like, all right, bye. So we knew it was coming. So what are we saying here, Jerry? Hey, Justin, Rolodesk is no longer in use. That's old school. What did I say? Rolodesk? Oh, you lost me on that one, buddy. I'm confused. So I turned in the retirement memo, so it's more official. It's kind of cool getting texts from people as it goes up the chain going, dude, you really did it. And I was like, yeah, like I'm not one of these guys that's like threatening, retirement or messing around with retirement. Like, no, this is what I want to do, unless you present me with some insane plan that's gonna keep me around. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to do this podcast life. I'm a little more full time. I've met so many cool people, and I think with 40 hours more a week to devote to this, and then our company, our group, Counterculture Inc. And some of the other podcasts that are in the network, devote more time to all of that and really build it up. And I think it's something that the community can use. Let's see. Let's read. You said the guys you interviewed were gonna. Oh, not keep it in the Rolodex. The Rolodex. But yes, you are correct. It is an old terminology. I don't even know why I pulled it out, but yeah, I pulled it out. The Rolodex does not really exist anymore. So thank you for pointing that out, Jerry. Um, you know, but is some people know what it is. Uh, I'll keep their contact in my phone or on my Instagram. We thought that was funny when I was in, or I think it was funny when I was in Germany for Oktoberfest. I the one of the way pretty much that we would talk to people or like exchange contacts was just through Instagram. Like we're not like, yo, let me get your phone number. It was just like, oh yeah, what's your Instagram? And then like so that's how the kids do it these days, apparently, is they just share Instagrams and then that's how you communicate. So it's been a little while since I've been communicating with people outside of my circle. Um so what else is going on? Um, we had Halloween the other night. Sounds largely uneventful. Thankfully, that was cool. I went to a we went to a street festival in Wilton Manors near Fort Lauderdale. They We've never been, but we've always heard good things, and it was it was cool. It's interesting. It's largely LGBTQ, mostly men, but we have some friends that we know, and they were going, and we go, and it's cool. The costumes were pretty good. We were sold that it was going to be a little bit better costume wise, but they were good. But the coolest thing I think about from my viewpoint and a law enforcement and safety stance, they had obviously Wilton Manors Police Department does a good job. They're very familiar with festivals and uh, events in that on that street, and they closed down the whole street. They've got a multi-agency, either detail or task force, kind of that works there. So I saw some neighboring agencies there working, Coral Springs, Fort Lauderdale, um, eh, you know, working the event as well. They had the streets all blocked off. They were prepared for vehicular incidents, that we've seen in larger things like in New Orleans and stuff. They had a uh, emergency lane kind of divided off in the middle, which was really good. They Where you kind of divide the street in two, but then you have a third lane down the middle so that you can get the side by sides that they might be driving, or bike patrol or an ambulance, or god forbid multiple police cars if there's an incident or something like that. So I of course have eyes for that kind of stuff, and pay attention to it, especially when you're in a large um, area and a large festival in somewhat of a targeted population. So yeah, so it was cool, and I definitely felt safe. You had to pay for entry, and to get in there, and do that, and it supported an organization. So so it was cool. I dug it. As far as the safety aspect, that was definitely a concern of mine. Becoming an oldie and being a cop, you think about these things, and it's like, all right, you gotta constantly remember this stuff, and you can't be naive to the fact that shit's going to go down sometimes. Like I just saw I mean, it wasn't a festival or an event, but I was just watching on the news. They said in England there was another mass knife attack, this time on a subway. So it wasn't a special event, but it was a subway, or not a subway, it was a train attack. So like 10 people were injured, and the guy was taken into custody on the next platform. So a little crazy that that still happens, but nature of the beast. But there's no motive explained for it just yet. They have not released a motive. Conspiracy theory wise, I would say if it was terrorism with the sentiment against uh, immigration in England and in a lot of Europe. If they brought up terrorism, it would cause even more problems. But of course, they need to be transparent and open and honest about what they know. So I honestly hope that they're not withholding some information. because we know that there's always a trick play going on. So one thing goes on so that somebody can go over here and do this. We always know that that's happening. So what do we got, Jerry? Talk about the upcoming open mic shows on Friday afternoons. Yes. So through with on Counterculture, and I'm probably gonna for a little while stream it on this channel too. So I'll do a little dual stream, kind of like our buddy Mike from Copville does with some of his shows in Counterculture. It's so commonly on Friday nights at 9 o'clock, we used to do open mic. And the idea was, of course, that it was just going to be podcast hosts or members of Counterculture just kind of talking shit to each other and about some stuff. You can go to the Instagram. I'll create a little banner with the Instagram handle so you can check it out. But so the idea for it was that we were gonna sort of get together, like recap the week, talk about episodes that have happened during the week, or which may still happen, but we just want to get on and talk about the shows that are part of the network, and then just talk shit to each other, have an open mic for it. So here's the Instagram. It's open_mic_cc for Counterculture. So check it out. Jump on the Instagram handle, or jump on the Instagram. Some of the old videos from some of the other episodes that are along the style of what we did for open mic before, though. That's kind of how open mic's going to go going forward. And looking at a start date of November 14th. So in 2 weeks on Friday, open mic will kick back off, but it's gonna be at 3 o'clock in the afternoon this time. So for those of you wherever you are, you can jump on and you can get to know some of those hosts from different podcasts on the Counterculture Network, and sort of get us talking trash. It kind of adapted to while we were filling some space, watching some YouTube videos or some Instagram videos that were a little crazy, and sort of giving our 2 cents. Whether it was a body cam breakdown, which we almost didn't do, we would just like watch some of these videos and just give like reactions to them, which is cool. And now, since for those of you that know MTV, Rob Dyrdek's show, Ridiculousness, where it's kind of like home video, America's Funniest Home Videos. Rob Dyrdek, his show got canceled, which, I mean, whatever, dude. They've got so many freaking episodes of just ridiculousness, where him and a team would watch viral videos and Instagram videos and YouTube stuff and just talk about it and laugh. And so, it's a decent recipe for good video. But the main thing is going to be for us as show hosts and members in Counterculture and in the community to just talk some smack. You've got on Thursday night, the night shift with Anti-Hero Broadcast. That show is sort of like an in-person ability to have conversations, guys sitting around a campfire type thing, or sitting around the hood of a police car on night shift. Open mic is going to kind of be the addition to that, where we're sitting around microphones in our own studios and not necessarily in person. So we'll see where it goes. So I'm kind of taking on a little bit of the lead with that, just to kind of keep it revived and keep it alive, while these other guys knock out some other shows. But like I said, I'm going to have plenty of time coming up with retirement. What else do you guys think I should do for retirement? I don't know how much I've talked about it, but it's like, I helped out. I told you guys on this recent episode, I think last week, I helped out Michael Morgan film an episode, which Jerry Worms told me that he was interviewed recently by Michael Morgan. So he's going to come out with an episode soon. Mike's going to have an episode with Jerry, which would be cool. Jerry's always good conversation to have. Let's see. Yeah, so then next week I'm going, wife and I are going up to Orlando, catching a Lainey Wilson concert in Orlando. So we're going up there because she's got a big test on Friday that she's been studying for like a year. It's ridiculous. So I'm excited to kind of get her back in my life because it's normally been like, all right, what are you doing Saturday? Studying, 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 studying. So she's been really devoted to it. And we, you know, you know, I've been free to do whatever the hell I want, so I'm gonna have to adjust a little bit too. That I can't just, I'm not just running around doing whatever the hell I want because she's got an excuse to why she can't go here, why she can't go there. So, it's cool. It is what it is, but I wish her luck. I know she's got it. She's been studying her ass off, so she'll be good. She'll be good. Yeah. So yeah, I kind of worked through burning up a little bit of vacation at work. So cranking it up to a 3-day work week. It's a difficult 3-day work week coming up every week for the rest of my career. So that'll be nice. 3-day work weeks are the bomb because it also means a 4-day weekend. Let's see what else. Oh, yeah, I bought a new. I don't know what YouTube gets angry about. I bought a new pistola for a retirement gift to myself. It's a Kimber 2011. Since since I was a kid and in Publix reading or looking at gun magazines, I probably shouldn't say gun. Looking at those magazines, I I always wanted a Kimber custom or a Kimber, I just something about the company back then when I was a kid. I didn't necessarily like follow them or do any of that kind of stuff, but it was just always something where I was like, man, someday I'd like to own a Kimber, and they're usually generally pretty expensive. So upon turning in my memo, that was sort of my marker because in the state of Florida, we have a 2A holiday until December 31st, where firearms are tax free, ammunition's tax free, stuff like that. So I definitely took advantage of some tax savings and bought this one that I've been looking at for a little while. They just recently came out. It's a 2011, so it's a double stack magazine. Holds there's a couple of the magazines holding 19, and then some of the ones that I got hold 20. So they stick out a little bit. But it's nice, man. It's a heavy gun. Oh geez, I keep saying it. I'm gonna get demonetized or something like this on it. It's heavy, and I added a light to the front and an optic up top because I want to continue training into retirement. I want to train for some of these competitions, not necessarily to be the best of the best, but to maintain my um, maintain proficiency, maintain a solid base for concealed carry out in the real world. I can't say off duty because it won't be off duty, but into retirement. So that I still know what I'm doing. I'm still proficient with the firearm and that kind of stuff. So, so I'm gonna do some practice and some training like that, and maybe get some content out of it, and do some interviews. But the piece is super nice. You can check out my personal Instagram has a bunch of it. Um, but and maybe I'll share it on Donut Shop after this. So super excited about it. I'm going to take it on the range on Monday and put it through some of its paces and make sure everything's zeroed in and it's accurate. So looking forward to it. Excited. And then what it is it kind of compares in the family of some of the staccatos, which are also now a big law enforcement family type gun. A lot of people are a lot of law enforcement officers are grabbing it up. And so I'm gonna take it out to the range one time with one of my friends and who has a staccato. I think it's a staccato XC. He has one of those, and we'll do a little compare and contrast of the two. He's interested to see how it maneuvers. So we're gonna hit that up, hit the range. Yeah. So what do we got? Anything else? Anybody else got anything? Jerry's fed me some uh, good comments, good things to talk about, and you know, we. I'll give Kenny a plug again. Kenny, our friend Kenny Williams, the Justice X Academy, has a training course coming up in April. I was talking to Jerry the other day about it. I know he says he's going out there. It's April 20th to the 23rd in Myrtle Beach. I've shared it a couple times on my Instagram. Um, so it's coming up. We want to try and get some, like some counterculture activity going on up there. Maybe a meetup, little bar sesh or something like that. Just, talking with folks from counterculture. So, but basically it's the event is $99 to get all kinds of classes from all types of training, from training officers. And then, so the only thing you or your agency is on the hook for is your travel and your hotel. But it's in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. So it'll be cool. April time. So spring breakish, and get out there and get some training in. So looking forward to that I will be attending. I got to figure out when the best time to buy flights, because I don't get to drive over, but brother Jerry's going to come over and partake. And then I put in a special request for him to bring me some beers from Zool, some peanut butter and jelly beers, because I searched all over and I couldn't find them. It was and I saw them on Instagram. It was crazy because during Halloween Horror Nights, I see some friends of mine and they post this beer, and it's from the brewery in Knoxville, Tennessee, Zool, and it's a peanut butter and jelly beer, and I enjoy those. We used to have Funky Buddha down here would make one called No Crust, so it was like an Uncrustable. So I want to try this one from Zool, but they had it in Universal Studios during Halloween Horror Nights, I guess at like two different places. And so friends of mine would post pictures, and I'm like, oh man, I wish I could get it. And so when you go on their website, you can kind of see where they distribute to. And there's a few places down here that get distribution from Zool, but they have a lot of beers. So it's not necessarily saying that beer is going to be here, at that bar, or at that store. So, well, I'll get it eventually, or I'll take a trip up to Knoxville and see Jerry, and then get some of the beer. So we'll see that. So other than that, I think that's it for checking in this week for coffee and donuts. If you want to do the coffee I'm drinking, I have Blackout Coffee. You can go there and you can use the code DSP10 and you can get 10% off your order. Blackout Coffee, they are roasted and bagged and all that kind of stuff in Florida. So they're a Florida company. I hooked up with them on, this affiliate program that they do back in 2020 during the pandemic when this show started. And, I've maintained it, and, some people have bought some stuff. They're very 2A friendly, very active, making political posts and stuff like that. So, but they're a cool company, or, they're cool. It's good coffee. And, so blackoutcoffee.com and DSP10 will get you 10% off. So now I got to go get ready for the gym, and I hope everybody has a great rest of their Sunday and weekend, if it's your weekend, and stay safe this week. Have fun. I'm off. No show next week because I will be in Orlando. So we'll pick back up on the 16th. And yep, Jerry and Liz have definitely enjoyed Blackout Coffee. So yeah, so we'll see we'll see everybody next week, or in 2 weeks on the 16th. I'll have another one, and that'll be right after the open mic. So go over to Counterculture Inc.'s YouTube and hit the bell notification so you can be notified whenever that channel goes live, which it goes live a bunch. There's a lot of shows that go through it. We're trying to create basically our own TV channel through YouTube. So here we are. All right. Have a great one. Liz and Jerry probably not going out on the boat. It's probably getting too cold in Tennessee. So you guys have a great Sunday. Take it easy.
Calling all units, calling all units. Donut Shop has a fresh dozen. Go ahead and take a 1040.